Lint Poodle. I had to like look at that name for a second. All right. Let me know if my voice is coming out clearly because I might need a new microphone since I kind of ate mine last night, trying to eat Subway, and that might affect the quality of my mic now. Or is it normal? I remember MINERVA Zombies deck. Here it is, 3000. Let's not touch this right now. But we are going to be playing a white Minerva today. Sounds pretty good. All right, sweet. Thank you. Welcome in. It's gonna be a quick stream today. I've got about 2.5 hours before somebody comes over to play Warhammer 40k, doing a teaching game with them. So the goal is just to stream for a bit. Okay, so first of all, I need to drink this drink and hydrate myself, fill myself up with sugar. Part 2 is we need to make a blocker Minerva list because we're going to be running off Destiny Gundam doing all the work. Of course, we're going to run multiple of these sword impulses, only 2 of the resting ones. Force impulse times 3 more blockers, silver bullet. Jessica Gundam is so good. I don't even know if you really need Destiny, but Awakened Power. Now we are going for a very troll heavy deck, so we probably don't need Awakened Power as much. And then Phantom Zaku is the other unit that is pretty damn good. Not running Kira, could run Kira, could run a Phantom Zaku. I really do want to run Phantom Zaku. But yeah, honestly, we probably don't even need Shin too much, for being honest. The Minerva of that guy, Giant Killing. True, we could run Giant Killing, but I feel like our units already do like all this 4 damage and stuff that we don't need to actually go out and kill somebody. Because we bought blocker heavy deck, I feel like maybe we'll run into a lot of those Neo Zeong decks, and Silver Bullet might be very, very useful. So we'll be running all this stuff here, and then like, is that good enough? Is that all we need? Overflowing Affection is not needed as much. But if you really need something in the trash, then it's obviously very good. Shin. I really want to make space in this deck somehow. Like, the question is Impulse Gundam even a necessity? Silver Bullet is insane. Yeah, against red decks, that's why I want to keep it in there. Because this is going to be a blocker heavy deck, and I'm trying to go blocker heavy. Then it's like, you know, then we're going blocker heavy pretty much. I don't like Force Impulse too much. We're already running 4 Destiny Gundams. We're gonna probably lower this thing to 1. Because it's only really important for the Destiny Gundam. Blast Impulse is obviously our main blocker. Silver Bullet is our other main blocker. Early game blockers plus the Impulse Gundam. I don't know if I really want to run that many impulses. I kind of use it as a command card. overall. Kind of want to lower that. Do I want to run Rick Diaz's in the list as well? It's a great question. Something like this. Yeah, something like that. Feels alright. I kind of want to just do this though, if I'm being honest. Just want to go like this. Impulse Gundam and Awakened Power is a big question mark right now. I'll go 2 Giant Killing, 3 Striker Pack, a Local Determination. Oh, actually, Graceful Demeanor would give us. Oh, yeah, but Graceful Demeanor. That's a card that I haven't heard about. So, Graceful Demeanor, we can run. Honestly, like, there's so much to do in the deck that. Are we even taking that many hits to the face? If we have Graceful Demeanor, it already kind of negates a lot of that. We could lower the amount of striker packs we're playing, but I feel like the card's just so strong. Also, like, do we even need the base? That's another question. I mean, the base is very, very important, but I feel like we don't need that many bases in the deck. If we're gonna run Overflow, so I feel like this is pretty solid. Striker pack could act as our base instead. Graceful Demeanor is obviously our balance card. Is the heart even needed in the deck? I mean, I think he is, simply because he is going to go onto our blockers and make them really, really tanky. And then mill us cards. Is Impulse Gundam needed? That's the big question. Okay, I feel like 3 Silver Bullet is okay for us right now. And then just to test the waters of everything at the moment, we're gonna have to lower something in the deck. Let's lower the Graceful because it really isn't a card that's needed in every matchup. We already have so much defense against other things. Let's go with this for now. Okay, I will not prioritize Gundam. Purple, white Minerva. Cool. I was thinking of this for NTCs. Cody Act. Yeah, I'm doing it. A client reached out to me yesterday for Minerva. So I'm going to be just testing some Minerva today. Playing a very heavy blocker version with Destiny and stuff. I'm actually on 1 copy of Striker Pack. Yeah, you can run 1 if you want. I just think the card is like so good against aggro and even against other decks that I just want a free unit on the board. I'm running a white-red deck. Should add 1 more blocker or keep Garazulu that does 1 damage deploy. I don't know what your ratios are, but I would probably say that if you're pretty happy with the blockers, then just run the Garazulu that does 1 damage deploy, because that does come up sometimes. Especially if you're trying to deal 4 damage with Neo Zeong. The Pink Zulu blocker swap is Goyo swap. I don't know what that means. I don't know what Goyo means still. Or Goy swap. Also trying to debate between Suji's base or Virula or Underground. I think Underground is the best base right now, especially since people are still going to be playing a lot of like 22 drops. That having the 6 issue base will really keep you alive against a lot of like the units that only have 5 AP, which is like First Form, Sharzaku only have 5 AP, so you'll actually get to stick around. So yeah, I would go down that route. Why is it so cold? Probably because I'm drinking this cold cappuccino. He pings me for 1 damage. That's cool. Cool story right there. Okay. I think I showed yesterday that Underground is very good. Yeah, if you want Valiant, Valiant just gives you more offensive power, which I always find is like very cool. It's like a base that also gives you AP, which is sweet. He wants to trade here. I mean, he can ping whoever he wants anyways. We'll block with the Livrist. I think we're okay taking damage everywhere at once. My NTC hyper aggro was rampant. 32 player NTC, 4 people playing late game decks. Yeah, exactly. Everybody just taking the hyper aggro list, which again, what I've been saying since GDO 1, since the beginning of the game, that there's a problem in the game, but some people don't think so. Okay. What are we gonna do here? Do I just want to attack him as hard as possible? I want to go like this, mill some cards. I want to take out his base first. Keep my guy alive. Get the hearts out there. And then I want to play Silver Bullet. I want to sacrifice this guy into his unit. And then I'll just put Zahart onto my Silver Bullet, which will be very good against him. We'll end the turn. So it's really, really nice that we discarded 2 striker packs. We don't have to draw into them at all. We discarded a bunch of other blockers that we probably don't need anymore either. Yeah, I don't know why, but blue-white used to be good, and I'm truly a believer in red-white now. Before they could kill you with their top end, but now Neo Xiong is a game changer. 100% agree. Now that Neo Xiong is a complete endgame boss that will nullify a lot of things. You pretty much, that's why I don't like Neo Xiong being in the game at the current moment. I think the card is very good. I think the card by itself on paper is like very good and everything, but I don't like it existing in a game where it kind of just says, I'm the biggest, the baddest. Everybody else, you're not allowed to play the game against me for most of the part, because he's just so big, right? Let's attack his shields. It was funny seeing Aibo make a video about aggro problem the other day. Well, yeah, it was pretty funny. I think hopefully a lot of people found it funny because he was the person who said that Bandai did the perfect banning. Everything's completely perfect. The game is balanced. All that jazz. And now he kind of like, some people were watching it saying that he was just kind of like going on and on, trying to spin a web essentially. Neo Xiong is a get out of jail free card even if you're behind. I clapped a bunch of aggro decks last night. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if you don't die in the first 4 or 5 turns of the game and Neo Xiong eventually hits the board, like you're gonna be in big trouble from Neo Xiong for sure. Let's summon another blocker. If this game will work, that is. Like, hello guys? Does the game just not want to work? Man, every single time I go live to stream, Mobile Suit Arena just seems to like want to die. It's a classic pause ad break. Purple White Zombies is the truth. Cows for ransom. How's it going? Purple White Zombies, yeah. I don't personally play Purple White Zombies, but I've told people that the most likely, and this has kind of been from my clients playing a little bit, that blocker slot Destiny Gundam is like, you know, for sure one of the best decks, but it is like with the keyword blocker slot. So looks like Mobile Suit Arena is once again dead. We'll just take a look at this deck, I guess, for now. If you made a turn 9 against aggro, I would say you are not in jail. Yeah. So we're running less Impulse Gundams. I know we want to use it to get Sword Impulse out and stuff like that, but if our entire deck's identity is to get to the late game, aka blocker, 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 into Destiny Gundam, which resurrects your Blast Impulse, aka more blockers, and then some pilots just to like pump up our blocker numbers. We could obviously do Kira Ale Strike as well if we really wanted to. Like, it's very easy to just fit Kira Ale Strike into the deck and run even more blockers and run a pure GDO1 Freedom Blocker style list. We're not doing that, but I do think Destiny Gundam is like one of the most powerful cards for a blocker style list, because you can just resurrect your blockers over and over again. You don't need to play as many show resolves because you're just resurrecting a blocker from the trash, and it's a good blocker too, being Blast Impulse. I kind of want to also play like Awakened Power just so I can bring back the Silver Bullet against a lot of the red matchups, which is where I need to like configure this whole bottom area here, where 6 pilots could be the best amount to play overall. And I want to do Awakened Power just to bring Silver Bullet back into the picture. We could also reduce, I don't want to reduce Blast Impulse too much, but maybe a Sword Impulse, maybe like one of these blockers, maybe Impulse Gundam just gets reduced as well. Have to see. Fantastic. Gotta love Mobile Suit Arena. Like, do they just do this every time I go live? Swap Striker Pack for Rick Diaz here. You have less level and no synergy conflict with mobile copies. It's because I'm running Overflowing Affection and Zahara. I can just discard it. So I just want the guaranteed safety against aggro to get the multiple Striker Packs from Burst. One Force is crazy. Yeah, the One Force Gundam, the only reason it's in the deck is to basically be my extra copy of Destiny Gundam. So if I ever need an Impulse Gundam out of trash, or if I ever need Destiny Gundam into my hand, the Force Impulse Gundam will go get it. It's essentially just a once per game, go get anything I need immediately. And so I don't need multiple copies of this. It's also one of the biggest bricks in the deck. Because it's level 5, you're not really trying to link it. You're better off playing like a Blast Impulse plus a blocker, like double blocker turns, than playing a Force Impulse Gundam. But I do have one in the deck, just in case I need it to bring Destiny back. That's the idea. Yeah, Kira pairs a bit too well with Destiny. Using a Kira pair Destiny to slap down dudes and bring out a guy is funny. Yes. It was 7 pilots. Remember our math day? It was 6 pilots. Physics, I remember. Still applies here because of the unit count? Yes. Do you think Zaft is good now? I feel like Minerva came out and everyone forgot about Rowan. So I never personally liked like the deck's identity for what it was trying to do. But if this thing is not working yet, okay, it's back up. We'll talk about Zaft a bit here. So like Providence Gundam, right? Well, let's put up Zaft. I think Zaft is in a weird place where just like most of the other, I guess, decks in Gundam have multiple different options. Yo Shaggy, welcome in. Burst is good, yes. Okay, so basically Zaft is going towards multiple different directions, right? For when we talk about Zaft, we have Destiny Gundam is Zaft, Providence Gundam is Zaft, Savory Gundam, and so on. And so especially once we start going down to the pilots, we have things like this guy, for example. He is actually trying to go late game and then resurrect your bases, right? His entire point, like the pilot by himself, is not important for linking or doing anything like to benefit a unit, really, outside of like maybe Providence. But even then, you only need to pair a unit to Providence. You don't need to link him. So this guy's entire purpose is to stall the game out. That's how I see it. His only reason he could be in the deck is because he is trying to stall the game by getting a base from your trash to your hand. So you can go infinite on bases. Effectively, just like how Destiny Gundam is summoning back blockers so you can never die. This guy's summoning back bases so you can never die. And then those bases will generate you some sort of effect, which is cool. So because that's the direction this is going, if you look at the deck list, which is like the US Nationals Gundam card game deck list. And we go down here and we go to Justin's deck list, right? This is like the deck list that everybody kind of copies off of. It even did well recently at one of the Eggman events, but it was slightly changed. Like, the idea here is that it's doing a little bit of everything. Number one is obviously trying to counter aggro with its pieces that it has, and it's also trying to counter the wing decks that are in the meta. And then it kind of, Aegis Gundam helps with that, and Ale Strike can kind of beat them down. But having Athrun and Kira is kind of like your mid-game offensive powerhouse against blockers and against aggro. And then we get into basically this guy with Providence. Now, of course, you can pop cards, do a bunch of burn damage, but he himself is there to generate you more bases. And the way that the deck wins most of the time in the late game is because you kind of just put a base on top of a base on top of a base. And that's why he's in there, which is why if I'm building around this version of Zaft with him as my baseline, I'm basically saying I'm going to try to go to the late game, which he might be really good in, like Neo Zeong, for example, because you can run low on shields, but now you can never die because you can just keep slamming bases on bases. Something like that. He's meant to the late game. While Athrun Zala, he might have Zaft on him, but if you go back to all of the like Zaft cards, like Athrun Zala, it's Aegis Gundam MA mode, right? MA mode is obviously an offensive mid-range beatdown deck where he's trying to like breach and get some value off breach and take care of standing units, and then just like green red CB kind of deal. And the Aegis Gundam is there to again attack standing unit and then take out something bigger. Usually, hopefully that's like the case. So again, another beatdown earlier game variation with like not even, he doesn't even work with Dual Gundam. He doesn't work with any of these things. But obviously if you use like BQ with Dual Gundam, you can kind of get to that 5 AP breach. So Dual Gundam can be more of a beatdown variation. But then we look at something like Zach Jewel here. Okay, and this guy basically, like, he I think is a very good pilot because he not only draws you a card, which is not that hard to get off if you guys actually use him. And I'm sure you Zaft enjoyers actually used him in GDO 1, GDO 2, etc. And I think there's play with him along with his Gundam, which is somewhere here. Where is his Gundam at? Come on. Yeah, dual Gundam, right? So Dual Gundam I think is one of the strongest cards because it just summons you a free guy off the top of your deck, which can also be used with like all these Sword Strikes and Minerva cards like Impulse Gundams, getting you extra value. So I think there's merit there. So we're kind of split between how we want our deck to be made, what the deck is trying to do, whether it's trying to go late game and survive with infinite blockers or infinite bases, or it's trying to go really, really aggressive with breach cards, and then we can use like a lot of breach cards like Saber Gundam and MA mode. And then there's cards like Buster Gundam and Commander type. These guys obviously give ourselves a lot of support. But it's really weird because like Buster Gundam, you don't really want to use him because he doesn't link with like everything, which is one of the downsides. I guess you can call it power creep or whatever, but then one of the downsides is, unfortunately, what makes Minerva's the deck really, really more potent is that everything basically links with everything, except for like obviously Destiny Gundam, Impulse Gundams. But all your stuff basically links with Coordinator or Minerva, and then it's not named pilot. So this guy only links with Derek or Raka, whatever. And so Buster Gundam never has seen actual like super good play because it just doesn't do too much. And then Blitz Gundam is a very strong card, but Blitz Gundam was hard to get off until we start putting in all the Minerva 5 AP units onto the board, right? And then Minerva gets to do well, and unfortunately Athrun is a 1-2 pilot, which obviously is good because he's got 2 HP, but it's unfortunate that he doesn't combo with Blitz as well, because of you need 5 AP and Athrun doesn't get you there, unfortunately. So like there's different variations of how you want to go. I think Dual Gundam is still a very good card, and one day this card's going to become like bonkers whenever Athrun, or not even Athrun, just Yazak gets more support, or whatever this guy's name is. Like when he gets on the actual LR, right, then you'll have 8 of him, and I think this card is still good and you can build around it. And there's even more opportunities to actually build around it now with the new red command cards. Because you can actually attack with this guy. And then on the attacks, because it says when an enemy unit is destroyed while this with damage while this unit is attacking, draw a card. So you can attack their shields, play a command card, destroy the unit that's linked by dealing 4 damage to it, and then all of a sudden just draw a card, which is really good. So I've always been interested in this guy. So I think Zaft is still something that is like around the academy level, where academy can do okay. It's like a 2-3 deck, but you can still have fun with it, and you can build it and build it really, really well if you want to. It just, we don't have everything that's needed, and Zaft is still split between like 5 different branches essentially. So we're kind of stuck with like a little bit of everything. And Minerva so far is the only one that, well, number one, it's got a lot of blockers in it, which helps. And then number 2, it has like a lot of card advantage built in from like destroying your opponent's units to summoning your own back as well. And that's kind of what makes Minerva actually be competitive. If you remove the blocker text off of Blast Impulse Gundam, the deck would just completely die, or if Blast Impulse Gundam did not exist. As soon as you remove this card from the game, Minerva simply becomes like a deck, same thing like all of the other Zaft and Academy. It just doesn't operate as good because you just don't have the safety net and the protection that you need to win. Which, if we give, again, like a new dual Gundam comes out or something that just allows you to like destroy your opponent's units or do a bunch of burn damage or something, it'd be pretty cool. And maybe, you know, dual Gundam in the future gets more support that says when you summon me from the top of your deck, and it gets like a command card that also says look at the top 5, summon a unit onto the battlefield immediately, because that would make sense in red as well, being like all about speed and aggression, that you can bring out a unit and be like, that'd be pretty strong, especially if it's like level 3 or lower unit for free. Or maybe the command card just costs 3 and then you get a 3 cost card from the top of your deck rather than playing one from your hand. Could be a thing in the future. And this guy as well, I've never been too upset about this dual Gundam because you can attack active units continuously, which is cool. And then Savior Gundam, I mean, at least it's got Breach by default, but unfortunately being a 5 cost is a little bit too high. But you can combo in with other purple cards like Tekkaden, which is obviously one of the best packages in the game, if not the best. That's what I feel about Zaft. Long-winded answer, I guess, but that's kind of how I feel about Zaft overall. Is it's kind of just split between everything. Let me grab the updated deck list here, since we'll count that last game as a win. All right. I feel like we're doing pretty good there. Okay. After my NGC, I'm making a blue-white aggro. These late game decks have heavy blockers, just break too much for me. Interesting. How's it going? Yo, Army. The burst is good. Late to the party. Should be free for like an hour tops. Is Graceful burst? Yes, Graceful is burst. That's why I'm running so many copies of it, because Graceful is actually burst. Which is really good. Does Zaku Blaze fit in this deck? Yeah, Zaku Blaze Phantom can fit in this deck. For sure, because Zaku Blaze Phantom is one of the best cards in the game. Why? Because it's a level 4 link. When you get a level 4 link, you're catching up to Gundam Amuro, you're catching up to Atherin, you're catching up to whoever else has level 4 link in the game. But basically, they're rare at the moment, but level 4 link, if you have a good level 4 link, you're in business. Because that's what's really gatekeeping a lot of stuff from competing against Gundam Amuro, right? Gundam Amuro was at the top of the food chain for a long time. Atherin was kind of close. And that's because level 4 links were rare. Ale Strike was like the next in line level 5 link. And then like Wing Gundam was like the best level 6 link, kind of, except for Psycho Gundam, obviously. So we need more level 4 links. And if every single person got a level 4 LR link, it would make all the decks be like that much better, that much more able to attack the early game. Like even Academy, for some reason, Academy unfortunately just doesn't have like a good level 4 link, I believe. And it's something that in my wing deck yesterday, you know, I'm using Baby Death Sights, and the reason I'm using it is because it's a level 4 link, and it's also the reason people are using like Michaelis with Soletta in the early game, because you need that early Link unit to just kind of go out there, do some work, and then stick around so you can kind of control the tempo of the game. Just wait for the next set, get his own Zaku, and one of my favorite Zakus in the series. Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited for him. I've always been a believer in him and his Gundam. Is this something I want to keep? I feel like I keep this hand. Yeah, it's a very, very flexible hand. Do you think there's a chance for a sleeper meta deck that no one has figured out yet to come about, or has it all been figured out already? I think that everything is already figured out. There is nothing that we don't really need to like. Well, yeah, pretty much everything's figured out. I don't know if I want to discard Graceful Demeanor just yet, because I can still bounce blockers, but I feel like I'm going to, because he's probably not playing aggro. Everything should be figured out, because people who like me who playtest a lot, everything is figured out. Like, you know, we playtested from GDO 1 till GDO 4. We played with every single card. We've tried many different variations, and even the new, I mean, it's not new, but like the one drop aggro spam deck, that's not even a new deck. That's just something that what do I want to discard here? That's just something that already existed since day one, and it was crushing everybody. And green red aggro with Zaku's and Zaku Sniper with support from Gazadi sleeves and stuff like that. But then One Year War came out, that's when everybody jumped onto the aggro bandwagon, right? It was because 1 Year War, and us aggro players who were playing one drop spam, winning all of our games, we understood 1 Year War could exist, but we also understood that that's identity wide, that's not exactly where we want to go. We don't, if we're playing aggro rush, we're gonna play aggro rush, and we understand there's a huge problem with the game, and it's gonna be complete degeneracy to make our deck not only super aggressive, but because we understand what's the flaw with the game is, we can obviously also put in cards like show resolves and go like crazy wide. But once you start winning the game on turn 9, turn 10, like with Zeong or Corsica bases ×4, etc., you're not really winning the game because you're playing aggressive. You're winning the game because you just have way too many options. Hold on, I need to do something here, which I'm about to like kind of mess up. Yeah, I just messed up. But it's okay. I should not have done that. I should not have done that at all, but it's okay. That was definitely a mistake. Let's get the striker pack out there. So yeah, I don't think there's a chance. Well, obviously there's always a chance that something comes out, which will always be happy that if something can exist. But we playtested so many games. Like before my Academy video had even come out, I had already playtested 100+ games of Academy, like behind the scenes. Usually my playtesting, as soon as the cards are revealed, my playtesting basically starts, especially when the full set is revealed. As soon as there's anything to like jump onto, I will jump onto it and I'll playtest it immediately a bunch. And if anybody out there who's also into the game, like they're also playtesting, so even if I'm not jumping onto like Minerva immediately because it's on like the bottom of my list or something, I know somebody out there who loves Minerva is going to be playtesting Minerva like heavily, or Academy or whatever deck there is, right? So everything's being playtested from the community and from the players or coaches, and yeah, that's kind of just how it ends up going. So, and in a game as simple as Gundam, there should be nothing that's actually hidden. Now in the beginning of GDO 1, GDO 2, GDO 3, yes, like, or GDO 1, GDO 2, basically things were hidden because You guys didn't have, I'm gonna say, me uploading a bunch of content and showing you guys that, okay, all these decks actually exist. Academy, Shenlong, like all these different ways to play the game. But because there's not a lot of people who actually build and play the game 10 different ways. So, but for me, I enjoy like playing everything. And so that's kind of where all these ideas come from. There's not a lot of deck builds out there. Even it doesn't matter if you're one of the best players for a trading card game in the world. You could still not be a super top tier deck builder. Obviously, that's kind of changed in recent times by you having access to a lot more information from the internet and data and having, you know, 15-20 years of playing the game. But there's still better deck builds out there. He destroyed that guy. What I can do here is this guy doesn't rest anything because there's 3 AP, but I do need to get rid of his units. I can also resurrect whoever I want. So let's get rid of this guy first of all, and let's attack into this guy. This guy first. Let's bring back the blocker. And then we're going to play Overflow. Discard this guy. We're going to play another blocker. And then we're going to basically play another blocker. And we'll make this guy into a 2-4 or a 4-2. I think we're going to make a 2-4 just so we don't get destroyed. I don't know exactly what you could possibly have to destroy my entire board besides a wing 0, so we'll just attack and then end our turn. And if I find a second pilot, we can deploy the second Destiny. Trying to decide whether I should add a Show of Resolve or 2 to my Zeong deck. It's been pretty similar to yours. Do you think I should? I don't think there's anything wrong with a Show or 2. I personally think that a Show at 1 is perfectly fine. That you don't need 2 Show Resolves. Yeah, I don't think you need 2 Show Resolves. I think 1 is perfectly fine because you don't want 2 in your hand ever. Because 2 in your hand means you're not gonna play a much slower game. Okay, that's like the big thing. And then if you are having 1 Show Resolve, it means that when you see the 1 of Show Resolve in your hand, you can now make the decision of, hey, I have the option, or I'm kind of playing towards the late game now, and when I do run out of cards, I can play the Show Resolve. I can set that up. But having 2 can be a little bit too much, especially if you play a Show Resolve and draw another Show Resolve. You're hopefully drawing 2 units to go aggressive, but you do another Show Resolve. So now you're kind of extending the game even further than you would like to. Attack here. The base. That's cool. Let's swing with Destiny Gundam. I can rest this guy actually. Let's rest this guy. Let's attack his shields. And I'll knock out his one dude here. Doesn't matter. We'll bring back the blocker, of course. Blocker wall. And then we'll play... We're simply just going to play another blocker because all we need to do is keep the Destiny kicking. And this is what we're going for with this deck. It's just like, as you guys can see, it's just a blocker wall. Endless blocker wall. He's going for my Destiny Gundam again. I'm just going to block it and remove it off the board. So... yeah, a lot of those aggro like Zeong decks, there's not too many wrong options. You can kind of just go with what you want and see what works for you. I also kind of stay away from playing Show Resolves because I do really like to just go towards my game plan, which is if I'm trying to win aggressively, I don't want to have a fallback plan on Show Resolve. I also don't want to draw Show Resolves to slow down my turns. Like that's a reason why a lot of the times you see me playing only like 3 Gundams or I've built decks that have 0 Gundams, right? If you see an aggro deck out there, which you probably won't see, but we basically just said, well, if we're trying to go super aggro, and this is how Echo one of his new types was, we're gonna play 0 Gundam because they're level 4. I don't want to play any Show Resolved. I don't want to play any Gundams. I don't even want to play like multiple Corsica bases. We're just gonna go fast and kill you. This was back in GDO 1, GDO 2. This hand is not something I want to keep because I want to mulligan the striker packs into my shields. We do have the overflow to discard this. Would be nice if Oz or Galahorn got support. 100% agree, F-Strike. You know, I definitely want everybody in the game to get a lot of support. I just said Bandai is probably not going to go down that route, unfortunately. You know, we're going to have to wait for another 6 months before, like, most of the decks in the game get a bunch of support, which we're still waiting for the new star decks to come out in November. So only thing hopeful for me right now is to look at the SD Gundam set coming out, since that is going to offer us any cool mechanical update or anything within the next 30 days, whenever that set comes out. I think it's the end of this month. So I'm really hoping that the SD Gundam set introduces like brand new mechanics, so it elevates the game into something a lot more. But who knows? But you know, we're gonna get that Oz starter deck with Epion. It's gonna be very cool. And then of course Galahorn. I did want to buy all of the Galahorn alt arts, which I did tell one of my buddies, Nick, to buy all the alt arts if he wants to, since he like collects a bunch of alts and stuff. That eventually the Galahorn stuff will go up. I have a suspicion that they will make Wing broken with the next set that has Endless Waltz. I don't even think they're gonna do that. Like, I'm still suspicious about if they're even gonna make Wing powerful or not, because just like this set, it seems like Bandai again could just give us one card or like, you know, something very minor and isn't gonna go all the way, which is sad. Because like, for example, Academy right now, I understand that Wing is obviously a lot stronger than Academy is, but they might only give us one LR for Wing. If they give us like 2 LRs, for example, it could just be something like Academy, where Academy, everybody's like, oh my god, Academy's gonna get new support, we're gonna get green sled, all this stuff. And I was like, you know, I was telling people, I'm like, yeah, be ready to be disappointed a little bit, because Bandai might just give you a second color that has nothing to do with the first color. So all of a sudden, the new Wing support might simply be nothing, and then we're all sitting here thinking, oh, it's supposed to be really, really good, but it wasn't. I still think that GDO 3 Wing, GDO 3 Freedom Gundam, for example, is a very good card, very unique ability, very strong ability. It's not seeing a lot of play, but if we get something on the lines of that, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, is it going to see a lot of play? I mean, of course, the Wing players will play it a lot, so we'll probably see a lot of play, be play tested more. But it's kind of up in the air whether we'll actually get good cards or not, especially the way that Bandai likes to give us cards. Some of those cards are just complete garbage. So it could just be a marketing scheme to get us to like buy into GDO 5. Now, there's also new Gundam and all these other archetypes coming out in the next set. So it's like, maybe Amuro's going to get a new Gundam. Maybe they'll get a new Amuro or something. But that's kind of it. I have to kind of wait and see what exactly happens. That's why I'm more excited about the SD Gundam set, because at least the SD Gundam set, I know it's something brand new. So there's hope for the SD mechanic to be something unique, because it's something that's not normal, right? It's also a smaller set, so we kind of see what they do with it, if they do anything with it. Of course, could just be reprints of Gundams in SD Gundam art, which would suck. Yeah. So I'm not as excited for GDO 5, even though I'm a big Wing fan. Obviously, I'll be playing Wing still. I just think that there's 8 new like Gundams in GTO 5, and it's like, how are you gonna fit 8 Gundams worth of cards in one set? Especially the way that they like to do it, where they add in these tutus and vanilla cards that all suck, and you get like 2 cards per color that are actually good. They're also gonna have to have a big bulk of it probably support G Gundam, I believe it's called. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling about GTO 5. Okay, what do I have in here, man? I do have the Sword Strike to bring back. Okay. So I don't have a pilot though. No point resting anything. We do need to play blockers. We do need to simply play another blocker. I do have Destiny Gundam, but it's a little bit too late. Let's play this guy and let's attack. Take this guy out. Okay. Now, when the power creep comes, the big power creep, right? I think it'll be a fun time for all of us, because if the game continues on the trajectory that it is, which is like everybody gets 2 cards, we get like random cards that we don't really care about, then we're all gonna be sitting around being like, oh wow, we got graceful demeanor for white cards, Wing got an upgrade because I have graceful demeanor. It's like, no, Wing did not get an upgrade. That's not how it works. Like, we just got this random card that, you know, people can cope over super hard for the first couple weeks or talk shit about, and then eventually the game comes back down to being aggro, being like super dominant. It's going to 4 AP. Do I even want to block this? I can just lose HP here and just be okay with it. I feel like we just block it, because yeah, let's not lose all my health immediately. We also got 2 turns till Destiny Gundam. Do you think they'll ever introduce a way to have 3-color deck or an additional color? I mean, a lot of the Bandai games, they always introduce new colors, right? So going off of that, I think, yeah, they will introduce a new color, or, you know, I'm thinking maybe SD Gundams are the way that you can introduce, SDs are colorless or something. I don't know. I mean, obviously they might have colors and stuff, but maybe they don't. I have to play this next. No, I guess I do have to. In order to survive, we must play this card. How did he survive that attack, by the way? What did he do? What happened? My silver bullet blocked him, and then it died and didn't kill him? I don't see any unforeseen here or anything. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm so confused as to why his unit is still alive. Can confirm was testing 1 year war the other night without show, and I didn't run into many problems playing other than with an empty hand by turn 8. Yeah, the whole problem with aggro decks was that aggro decks were not only aggro, but they also had more card advantage than everybody else. And me, I just kind of accept that, hey, I don't want to play an aggro deck that also is going to win the game by outvaluing my opponent. That just feels completely wrong and stupid. That you tell any high-level competitive player, I'm going to give you an aggro deck that wins the game in 4 or 5 turns. But also, by the way, you can win the game on turn 15 because you will actually outlast your opponent and he'll be on the back foot the entire time. That just sounds ridiculous, but that's what happens in Gundam at the moment, unfortunately. He played 2 more Adepts. Gotcha. Oh, he pinged himself. Okay, I get it. Thank you. Let's get a blocker. Oh shit. Yeah, we're not looking too hot. I mean, we're pretty much dead here, so we're just gonna concede. Nothing to do. Got run over by aggro. Not even aggro, just ping damage and stuff. What is this guy saying? I don't think the guy says this. Alright, we lost that weird random game that we just played against some. I guess it was the red aggro deck with Versalius bases. Is this the hand to keep? I mean, it kind of gives us everything we need. We got the base here. Okay, we'll keep it. We got the Lifrith. More Lifriths. We're not going to play the Overflow there so we can discard something bad later on. The matchmaking sound for MSC reminds me of that one Soulja Boy song. Lil Luna wants to buy my grandpa. Is he paying you like 90 or like a big percentage on it? Or is he paying you like only 70% or 80%? Because of course he wants to buy it, but you can get full market value online. So is he going to buy it off of you for full market value? Because it's going to only go up in price. So if he's gonna pay you 100%, you should definitely, like, you know, you're a smart guy. You should definitely consider getting like full market value, because the card is like a very expensive card and it's only going up in price. 50%? Hell no, bro. Hell goddamn no. Hell no. I'll buy it off you for 50%. Are you crazy? We're gonna attack him. Of course, he's playing CB and gets the red pilot link. That would be unfortunate, but we're going to start being aggressive. We also need to start getting some stuff with the trash. He's playing a slower deck. Let's discard the... We need Destiny in our hand, so we gotta discard this heart here. And we'll end the turn. What's your take on Eggman's League Militaire Norm deck? Yeah, I told him thanks for the offer. Yeah, dude. No. That's not your highest offer, bro. That is not your highest offer. Hell no. If you put that shit on eBay, it will just sell. Why would people buy a $2,000 card for only $1,000? You know? Honestly, in my Discord server, maybe someone's willing to buy it. There's some guys who like to full foil their deck like crazy. Do I want to knock him out? The answer is like, not really. I kind of just want to play a blocker, and then do I need to play Overflow here? The answer is probably yes, because we'll probably draw into something that we want to discard. And we found something to discard. Probably gonna discard the Lifrith. I don't think we need that in this particular matchup. And then we'll simply just... We could attack this and then block him next time. We'll lose some cards, but... Yeah, we're just gonna end the turn here. I don't really care. The House offer 1100 was the offer at 12200. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Do not sell that card for 50%, dude. I'm telling you right now. That is the biggest load of bollocks ever. And what's my take on Eggman's League Militaire Normalist? I would have to go look at his list. I don't know what his League Militaire Normalist is, but I'm assuming it's the whole basic League Militaire stuff, which I think, you know, I think League Militaire's day one. I told you guys to go watch Vortex TCG and keep an eye out on his channel and other stuff. And obviously, Holly TCG has finally made a comeback on his YouTube channel, playing obviously blue-eye blockers with League Militaire as core of it. I think League Militaire is very, very good, just like Minerva. I think it's a little bit inconsistent. And obviously, if you're going down the whole blocker swap route, then we all know blocker swap puts in work. Okay, I need to get rid of this. Yeah, we need to get rid of that guy, like, today. Since I'll value him later, let's just destroy him. And then put down some more blockers. Let's put down a Silver Bullet and a Rick Diaz, end the turn. So, is there a link to Eggman's League military list? I can look at it there. But I'm not a huge fan of League militaire plus Norm. I think any deck can take down a new type challenge. I think any deck can do well at locals. You know, it's just a matter of who you pair into and a matter of how consistently your deck ran at the day of and how lucky you got. And I can't quote it for sure, but I do think that even in Holly CG's video, he might have said, if I'm remembering it correctly, that he also got lucky once in a game or something. So, yeah. Okay, he's gonna ping my board. It's fine. His units are now rested. Let's knock out his 1-4 unit first. Goodbye. Let's play a blocker. We're just gonna save Destiny Gundam till later. And then we'll probably resurrect a blocker once we fully solidified the board. It'd be sick if I got a second Shin in my hand. So. I think the League Militaire is carrying the Norm. The Banshee. Physics, have you tried putting it on eBay, my guy? People always buy that shit on eBay, honestly. What's he doing? Attacking this thing to get rid of it? That's acceptable. He wants to go after my shields. Yeah, I can just block with this guy. Since I can resurrect him. Four, 5, 4, 7. We're kind of close on cards overall. This card is a card. Destiny Gundam, Shin, attack opponent, bring back the blocker. And then we just kind of end the turn here because we're all about protecting the Destiny. There's probably so many people that would buy that card off you for 50%. It's anybody would. I would. I mean, at that point, Echo would if he sees a card that's $2,000 selling for only 1,000. Like, he'll buy it too. He's attacking my blocker. That's fine. It does literally 0 to me. Gives me as a heart, which is awesome for my Destiny Gundam in my hand, or a blocker. I really want whatever the Wing 0 like LR plus is. I would really like to get that card in the next set, but unfortunately, obviously, it's not going to really happen. I'm gonna skip blocking that just in case we don't get linked and get our Destiny Gun taken out. I'll look at this in a sec. We can bounce those 2 cards. We can do many things. Let's get the blocker back. I need to take this guy out, right? He only hits for 5. Do I mind losing a silver bullet right now? Probably not. Probably just lose this guy now. Lose a card, not a big deal. He loses like a bunch of stuff. Hey, Galvin, how's it going? Yeah, people have been able to make Norm work for sure already, but okay, what do I need to do? I need to put the heart onto like the Lifrith, honestly, and then we need to basically just end the turn here so we can bounce these 2 small guys back to his hand if we need to, but or if he links something smaller. I don't know. How's it going, guys? Yeah, after this game, we'll look at the Eggman list. And if you guys haven't seen already, go check out Holly TCG's video. For sure. Let's get rid of those guys. Don't even want to deal with it right now. On his Norn list, right? Because he took League Militaire plus Norm and won his NTC. Obviously, I believe he's based out of Australia, so you guys can understand that his locals and his new types might be different, especially where he lives. Unlike the States, where everybody just kind of travels everywhere or have like bigger competition sometimes. Okay, more first strike. He's not throwing down his pilot. There it is. So he's got first strike. He's attacking this guy. I mean, I just have to block this. I'm just gonna block with the with this guy right now because yeah, we can just resurrect him back over and over. He's gonna get more draw, more card advantage from playing CB. It's a lock on. That is a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully I can get a second shin here because I do need to start taking these guys out. Okay, he's gonna pass. There it is. There it is. Let's play Destiny Gundam. Let's attack into his dude here. Let's bring out the blocker. It's a base. It's fine. If I play this, I can resurrect my Impulse Gundam. Attack. Opponent. This thing has first strike permanently though. That's the bloody problem. He'll draw infinite cards. Okay, we gotta take this guy out. We'll bring back this guy. Unfortunate. We'll just end the turn here. It's fine. We're playing into CB, man. CB has so much value, but then it gets run over by like other decks. Oh, just a lot of value from that pilot and first strike. It's gonna be a long, grindy game. He wants to attack with 5 into my unit. Obviously, we can't let that happen. So we're gonna block with obviously the Impulse Gundam again. Get rid of him. There's a lock-on link. Gonna kill my blocker. Yep. But that does mean, ooh, get the striker pack. Let's go. Striker pack is so good. Do I have the sword yet? I don't have the sword. I still have this blocker. Okay. I can resurrect the Destiny Gundam from my trash, which is a thing. Is it the bounce card? No. But we do have that guy now. Give me another Shin. Another blocker. Okay. Well, the first thing we can do is pretty much attack here. Take this guy out. Then we can activate this. Bring out this guy. Destroy this guy. We can sacrifice this guy. Then we can attack our opponent's base. Resurrect. We can take a hit, but let's just resurrect the blocker. Stick with the game plan of blockering up. And then we'll just slam down a bunch of guys and end the turn. Yeah, Rush is rough against CV if you don't get the red Exia early game. Yeah. But how's your guys' day going? You guys getting ready for the weekend of tournaments, new type challenges, or store championships and all that jazz? Are you guys still on edge of what to take? Yeah, we're not gonna let that go through. Although he'll breach it. He'll breach us anyways, right? I don't think there's any high maneuver in his deck, from what I can remember. So we'll just let it go through. I don't remember if there's a high maneuver or not. I don't think he has one. Good game. He has no answer with 4 cards in hand. Yeah. He should have nothing. This is one of the reasons I'll never play blocker slop, is because like it takes so long, and like I play rapidly. Like on here, like it's a little bit slower, right? But in person, I play real quick. Like I play extremely quick in real life. My turns are basically over before my opponent even says like your turn, right? Like they put a store championship on Mother's Day and had to drop out Sage. Interesting. It's okay. You know, what are the odds of one of us winning the store championships anyways? There's like 34 of us in chat. If all of us enter the tournament, like only one of us is gonna win it. No high maneuver is huge bane. Yeah. Okay, buddy. Are you going to quit? Are you going to play? I don't know what's happening. Going to watch Mortal Kombat? Hell yeah, dude. I want to watch that movie for sure. I want to watch the new Hathaway movie coming out in theaters for sure. And then I also want to go watch the Mortal Kombat movie because I think they did a really good job. Well, that and Street Fighter. Street Fighter looks also sweet. Like, I like the direction they went with Street Fighter, making it, you know, not how the modern day movies are made, but keeping it like casual kind of. Let's check my Discord server. Power Thirst. Hell yes. Okay, let's go back to chat. True, like 100 people applied. Yeah, exactly. 100 people applied. Obviously, I didn't get into it. New type challenge Friday. Not sure if I'll do purple, red, CB again. Probably gonna do 1 year reward. Yeah, try it out. Try out 1 year reward. Obviously, you're playing one of the best decks at that point. We were gonna go look at this deck list. How do you see Eggman's decks? Is there like a way to see his decks? Like, it just shows library tournaments meta. Oh, here it is. This one. Okay, now which one am I looking at? There's a bunch. Yes, I have no idea what to play, but I do like this list. I wanted to make Neo's Young work, but I'm having trouble finding the best way to play it. Neo's Young depends what your win rate is. Are you after like a 90% win rate? It's probably not going to happen. And depends on your local meta. Like, but the hardest deck that I've worst playing against like Neo's Young builds was just going full blocker slop, right? And you guys want a list that I can like get behind is it this one? No, that's Rain Knight. Where is no. There's a person. Where's her deck list? Not that one. I need to find her channel. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't know why she's not popping up. Maybe it's in my history. How do I even go to my history? Probably in here. We'll find it very soon. Going all the way down. Draw engine. How is it not on here, man? I swear I saw it. Like, I literally clicked it earlier on. Oh, here we go. From Oiki.
Against blockers, traditionally.
Just literally go check out her deck list. It's right here. Right. There you go. This is the deck list that I would recommend that you take, and the reason for it is because it's blocker slop. If you want to have the best chances, it's obviously go all aggro or go all in on blockers. And this is a perfect example of a list that I would back because, again, it's going down the route of blocker slop. And you guys that were here from my stream very early on into like MSA, you guys saw when I was like 1 game away from rank 1, what was stopping me was just people playing complete blocker slop, and it was very disgusting. And so just play Neo's Young, play blocker slop, and have a good time with this. And then whether or not you make it all the way 5-0, you'll probably still have a very good chance of making it to the top 4. If your locals is obviously extremely aggro heavy, you can still have a very good time playing this. If you guys want to copy this exact list, go for it and go like her video and stuff like that. You guys can see I'm not subscribed to her because I don't really follow her content, but obviously it pops up on my screen. Yeah. Oiki, yes. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce her name right now. I have to like literally hear her say it. On the main website, then staff deck list. Okay, main website. Home. Staff deck list. Community featured deck, new content, GDO4 events, recent events.
MSA just drew you all 4 bases back to back. That's what you get for playing 4 bases. If you didn't want to draw 4
Why am I
bases, you
hearing-
shouldn't have played 4 bases. Clearly,
right
this is sarcasm, but like,
Boom. It's because he's live. Team? Is that under team? No, it's not under team. I don't know where.
let's see. What
it's
do we
at.
have in here that we can play? Nothing. That's
On main website, then under staff deck. Event coverage. Deck builder team. Recent events. Dun dun. It's just this stuff. Oh, here it is. Team deck lists. Deck list table. This one. Okay. So we're talking about the Neo Zeon Banshee Norn. Okay, Eggman. The Eggman. So we have 4 blockers, awesome. 4 Victory Gundams, awesome. 2 Lifrits or 4 Lifrits, totally fine. V-Dash Gundam, awesome. Victory Gundam, awesome. Okay, here's the issue with the deck list. And I'll tell you guys here. I'm gonna keep this here. I'm gonna try to pull up the do I have one made on my own actually? Do I have League of Its Own, right? I believe I have my own. Okay, so let's grab Eggman's deck list. Whoops. Where's Eggman? Banshee Norn. Oh my god. Please. My mouse is broken, so like sometimes it double clicks everything. Did we really just lose track of Okay. That's cool. Explore deck builder. No, not Digimon. Let's go back to the main events. Featured events. GR4 event. Team deck list. Deck table list. Banshee Norn. Okay, so we have this deck list and we have my deck list. So let's pull this out. Is there a photo? Where's a view photo? Import. Share as image. Save image. Save. Delete. Okay. Like, we'll just come back to this as a reference. I'm doing this very bad. But the main thing we need to look at his deck list and compare it to like other people's deck lists or like this version of it is the deck's identity. Okay, the deck's identity is to go very like beat down. This is the deck, right? Yeah, this is the deck. So if I pull up Epic Pen right now. Epic Pen, here it is. So if you pull up Epic Pen here, what we want to look at his deck list is, this is like a check mark because we obviously need this card. Lifrit, okay, this is like a check mark. We can kind of put a circle over here. Victory Gundam is definitely needed for the deck to generate tokens. The issue is that there's no core fighter. There's no core fighter, and there's no the pilot, the other pilot, the pilot that gives you a +1/+1. Core fighter is 100% necessary for the list to work. Why? Because core fighter is what turns all of your units into tokens. So it basically changes your deck from like just a okay, you have 1 blocker, 2 blockers, and then you have these random units into like all these random units that spawn are now actual blockers. So your entire engine becomes blocker slop, and then you have things like Victory Gundam that generate your infinite resources. Gundam, that was in blue-white, so you have blockers plus Gundam, just like GDO 1. You have blockers plus Victory Gundam, which is your show resolve. And then you have blocker plus V-Dash Gundam, which is basically extra Amuros, or like the O, for example, so you can actually win and inflict additional damage. And then Ready and Unicorn is basically your wing 0 to wipe out all your opponent's units or to be a big threat. It's almost like Freedom Gundam, where Freedom Gundam just says, when I attack, I'm going to reduce your AP so I can actually clear the board by -2, -4, etc. And then obviously it's a very big unit that cannot take damage from like Neo Zeong or any red burn damage, essentially, because of this pilot. So core fight is very important to the deck because it's actually a blocker. Okay, it turns your entire deck into blockers. If we printed a card that turns all your cards into blockers, like everybody would be playing it because all of a sudden everybody gets a blocker keyword. So we can all survive and block and be very, very good. Especially into like the aggro meta that's basically around right now. Anybody who doesn't play core fighter in the League Militaire list needs to heavily reconsider what they're doing with it. I'm not saying every deck needs to play core fighter. You have to give a very, very good reason as to why you're not playing core fighter. But core fighter is essentially, it's the core fighter. It's literally what makes the entire deck run well and smoothly, and it's built on top of your engine. It's actually the only card in the deck that makes the tokens gain so much more value. If you don't have core fighter in your deck and you don't have the pilot, your tokens are just sitting there and they can attack into your opponent's units and trade basically extra ping damage. But when you actually transform them into blockers, they're now that much stronger. And they can also get 2 AP, which is what you want them to have, so you can start trading against GMs. So I think with Eggman's list here, he 100% needs core fighter in the list. Okay, that's something that I would include immediately. Then we look at the list for what it's trying to do. Now, I think when you're looking at this deck list, and you look at Holly CCG talking about it as well, so definitely go check out his video. You want to understand that how does this deck win? Okay, Gundam Amuro. So we got Gundam and we got Amuro. What does Gundam Amuro do? Gundam Amuro rests your opponent's unit and then allows you to trade into it, getting a +1. But ultimately, it's a very, very aggressive card. Being a level 4 link comes out early, and it's a card that also breaks bases and makes all your guys hit harder. Okay, so it's an aggressive card. So this is aggro. If we type aggro here with my bad handwriting on this thing. So this is basically an aggro card. Victory Gundam is just a 3/2 aggressive card. So this also is an aggro card to beat down, right? We'll put this like a beat down. Beat down. Okay, so then we go to the blocker side of it, where, okay, this is obviously a very defensive card, but the reason why this card is in the deck list is because it synergizes with Victory Gundam, V-Dash Gundam, and the other Victory Gundam over here. So this card is just included in the deck because it's our Zord. So this is our early game like GDO 1 blocker package, but it actually has synergy with the deck, so this card automatically has check mark. It's in the deck, no problem. Do you need to run it 100%? No, but it's there. Lifrith is just a blocker, but we all know when you run Gundam Amuro and you run Ale Strike, for example, the Lifriths become cards that just start attacking your opponent, and so you can actually use this as an aggressive card. Why? Because its cost is 2, and it comes out early. You can slap multiple of them onto the board, so you can go Lifrith plus Victory Gundam on turn 4, and then all of a sudden the next turn you go Victory Gundam or Gundam Amuro, rest your opponent's units, and all of a sudden you're just going aggro on them. They think that they can't get past you because you have a Lifter on the board, so they pass the turn. The next turn you hit them with Gundam Amuro or Victory Gundam and all this stuff, and you kind of just go, okay, I'm going to go aggro on you now. Now my blocker turns into an aggressive card. So this card is also going to be aggressive in a sense because it's a 2 cost, it's just a body. So we're just using Lifrith as a body to attack our opponent. So this is also going to go beatdown mode. Okay, beatdown mode, I guess. Then we're going to go over here and look at these cards. So Victory Gundam here obviously gives us the +1, which is excellent. That's basically what Gundam does half the time. When Gundam attacks your opponent's unit, it generates you +1 value because it kills the opponent's blocker or something, heals back up, and now your opponent has to deal with the Gundam on the board. Victory Gundam doesn't repair itself, but it actually draws you a card, so it goes +1 because it draws you a card, and then even if your opponent's going to kill it next turn with ping damage or something else, it's already gotten its value. And you also don't even need a pilot on top of it. It's just that good. So again, it's an early game card that is aggressive. So it's also an aggro beatdown card. Okay, so this operates as a beatdown card just like CB. We're being very, very aggressive. Beatdown, level 4, early game. Any of these early game cards are obviously going to be centered around the early game, which means being aggressive. Okay, V-Gundam is our top end. You guys have seen my level 6 video. We know that level 6 is a powerful level, but unfortunately in Gundam, level 6, because of the stats that they offer, are just not good enough. But in terms of abilities that level 6 units have, are some of the best abilities in the game, because they're kind of like overly statted with abilities to make them into like LR capable units, or level 7s or level 8s, but they just don't have the stats to back them up. And that's basically the difference between the level 6 LR and the level 7 LR, is like the stats, and level 8 LR even sometimes. Like Ultron, for example, like, yeah, he has this super cool anti-blocker ability, but it's so niche. But what makes up for that is like his stats. So like he's relatively more tankier than a level 6 unit, which means you can survive against like 5 AP or 6 AP, while V-Gundam will basically get smoked out by most things in the game, especially once you add in like ping damage into the equation. So level 6, obviously a very good card. Has breach, which again, if you look at the keyword breach here, it's telling us that this is again going into the beatdown route, just like Ultron, just like my Academy builds. We are playing a beatdown deck where once V-Gundam enters the battlefield, obviously it's going to rest your opponent's units, control the battlefield and all that, rest blockers, go aggressive. But it is also going to attack your opponent and then breach, thus hurting their shields. Thus, we're playing an aggressive deck. Okay, everything about this deck tells us it's very, very aggressive, which means that we actually don't need to play Unicorn Gundam here. We don't need to play Rahid either, because if we cancel these cards out, for example, and we cancel the Unicorn, we don't need to play this. Okay, but we are playing it in the deck because that's what the deck identity is, right? So, but ignoring that point, we can say that the Unicorn package runs by itself, and Gundam Amuro is one of the strongest, like, level 4 links, one of the only ones that exist in the game. So it's very good. Okay, it's obviously we know how good Gundam Amuro is. So if we look at the deck like this, this is what we get pretty much. Now, you want to include like white and include blockers, and we have blockers in this sense. One of the best ways to stop aggressive decks is to have Core Fighter be included into the deck, because Core Fighter turns all your 1/1s into blockers, which are just extra like pluses basically that we have access to, and it's going to stall the game out even longer, which is what we want against all these aggressive decks. Is just stall the game out, get extra damage from thin air like ping damage and our token damage, etc. And once you put a stop to aggro decks, and you're going to generate so much value off of Victory Gundam and Gundam Amuro or whatever, you pretty much win the game on the spot. I've had multiple people when I was doing the live streams with League Militaire just quit the game, because if you do get the good curve of play Victory Gundam, okay, turn 1, then you play this blocker turn if you go second, we always go second. So we go Victory Gundam. Okay, turn 1 Victory Gundam. Turn 2 we play the blocker out, which means we're on like, we can play the blocker or we can play Core Fighter Link, either way. But we pretty much play the blocker here on turn 2. And then on turn 2 what we do is we suicide the Victory Gundam into our opponent, killing a GM. But we get a 1-1 blocker out of this, okay? We get a 1-1 blocker. And now we can block their next hit with the League Military Unit if we want to. We don't have to. But on the next turn is when we actually engage with either our Victory Gundam Link or our Core Fighter Link. And once we initiate the Core Fighter, we pair something onto it. We can also drop Reinforced Junior on this turn next to our 2-2. So which means we have 2 1-1 tokens. Once we initiate Core Fighter with this pilot, we can actually take out our opponent's units. And then we have 2 extra 2-1 tokens that are on the board by turn 4, turn 5. So turn 4, turn 5, we have 2 2-1 tokens on the board that are going to just block our opponent. We can also have 3 2-1 tokens on the board if we wanted to by that time. And they just can't get past us anymore. Like, we are playing more cards and have gained so much more value over our opponent that the aggro deck just gets stopped in place. Like, immediately those tokens all represent like destroyed target GM immediately, which is really good. And if they don't want to attack into us, Dash Gundam turns into like the O and starts resting them, and then all of a sudden our tokens get to eat their GMs alive for free. And yeah, we kind of go from there. But deleting all that, this entire package right here is all aggro and aggressive. Okay, the Core Fighter just allows us to play extremely well into our opponent's aggro decks and put up a big blocker wall, which all of a sudden we are playing a blocker slot. Okay, we're playing blocker slot while utilizing Gundam Amuro and, for example, Ale Strike, which was blocker turns aggro, killing our opponent. We don't have Ale Strike in here, obviously, but we do have the option of Dash Gundam, which can rest more units, and we also have a bunch of extra value off of Victory Gundam to go about doing that instead. Right, we don't have to be as aggressive, but Victory Gundam would generate us so much value that it makes up for the Kira -2 abilities, essentially. Yeah. So, do I think that Unicorn is very strong? No, I do not think it's very strong. I think that the pilot is actually, like, you have to ask yourself, if this pilot's ability was blank, okay, are people going to consider playing this Unicorn? That's the main question we have to ask ourselves. And then number 2, if the answer is still yes, you want to play it because of this card, not because the pilot is good on other things or it's good into like the red matchup with Silver Bullet, we're going to pretty much look at this and say, okay, well, if we're playing it for this card right here, is this card the card that is making us win like Wing Zero does or the O does, or is it that this entire package here is doing all the work for us, just like before? Like with the Ale Strike and Gundam Amuro and the O decks. Is it the O that is making you win the game, aka Norn? Or is it actually all of these cards that generate you 80% of your entire, like, all your value, your entire game is centered around these cards 80% of the time, and then this card on top is just like a cherry, okay? So it's like, do we even need to play this card? Can this card just be replaced with Wing Zero? Right, this card could just be Wing Zero, this card could be Ultron. These overflowing affections and graceful demeanors could be replaced with other cards instead. And so could this pilot, obviously. And then this blocker here, like, you don't need to play Lifrith if you don't want to. You can just ignore this card completely. There's also purple. Purple has access to blockers as well if you want blockers, right? There's also other blue blockers in the game. So, yeah. And of course, with Core Fighter being in the deck list, you pretty much turn all your tokens into blockers. So it's like you don't even need Lifrith, but obviously people are going to play Lifrith if we're going to play white. So, yeah, the way that this deck really operates is being a blocker slop deck, first of all. Blocker slop, okay? And then number 2, it operates off the back foot of, hey, we can go aggressive on our opponent by utilizing our 3 AP on Victory Gundam, our already standing Lifrith, and then our Gundam Amuro comes down in our Victory Gundam. And our opponent basically must answer the Gundam Amuro or the Victory Gundam because they'll just keep generating us even more value. And then by the time level 6 comes around pretty quickly, Dash Gundam comes in, and then it's like it's a dual threat. Not only is it going to rest you on the turn it comes in, giving us more chances to do something, it can also simply just sit around with Breach and be like, hey, I'm going to take out one of your shields and a unit most likely at some point, which is why it's statted as a 4 or 5 unit, also with only 4 costs, which is awesome. So that's kind of like my whole breakdown of the deck list, and we kind of go over to like my version of the deck. I think all the other cards, by the way, Show Resolve, Graceful Demeanor, Overflowing Affection, all these cards like fine, they're just kind of staples. But we go to my list here, and you're going to start to see if I'm playing, if I understand that the deck is more of a beatdown variation, then, okay, now, this is not the deck I would play going to a tournament. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. This is just a sample deck list. I was working with a client the other day. But what we're looking at here is we're really going down the aggro route. If you look at like Pepsi Ping. You guys remember Pepsi Ping? And Pepsi Ping pretty much says that, okay, we're gonna stop aggro cards by playing aggro cards ourselves to trade in the early game and be aggressive. And at the same time we're doing that, we're gonna basically utilize obviously Victory Gundam and Gun Easy. Gun Easy is a card that people should play in the deck because it's a free Amuro. It's very, very good, especially if you're playing aggressively. And then Rizal is like the best beatdown card into blocker decks. So if our opponent's playing Lifritz, Rizal counters Lifritz completely because obviously it kills it without dying. We can be aggressive. And then we kind of see that everything else is kind of the same. It's a very Pepsi Ping aggro style beatdown deck. And then we don't need to play the level 7 or anything like that. Can the level 7 clean all these guys off the board? Yes, but you know, with how our deck kind of operates, it's not really going to matter. And we'll try to win the game early. If we don't win the game early, we can kind of win the game later on by utilizing all the card advantage off of Victory Gundam and also all the tokens we generate, and then obviously having so many options to rest our opponent's blockers that they really cannot stand a chance. In GDO 1, GDO 2, the blocker slop decks, freedom blockers essentially, the reason why they lost was because they would play around Amuros, and Amuros would give you an in to attack their units and then basically crack their board. It was all about cracking your opponent's board. So a blocker slop deck cannot stand up to this because Gundam Amuro will do them a favor and Rizal's counters them, which is why I play Rick Diaz's still in most of my list to counter like anything around this stat line. That's my take on that. Now I'm gonna go look at Holly TCG's list to show you guys that as soon as I read chat, because that was kind of a long answer. Hello all, hello house. What's going on right now, coaches? Yeah. What deck should I build IRL? League Militaire, I think, is a pretty fun one. Play League Militaire IRL. It's pretty fun, pretty cheap. Wow, so many characters. Okay. Ermish Khan. Hello, Ermish. How are you? Hi. What would you say LM is Gundam first combo deck? League Militaire is Gundam's first combo deck? No, I think Cyclops team is Gundam's first like combo deck. Obviously clan kind of combos, but Cyclops team 100%. You're really trying to push the combo and operate through a bunch of sequences to get all the effects off at the right time, because if you hit the go trigger at the wrong time, you will lose. You really do need to kind of wait for your outs, just like a true burn deck in Magic the Gathering or some other game. You're really waiting for your one turn, like go, and do a bunch of damage. There might have been combo deck before that, but I'm pretty sure Cyclops team was like one of the first main ones that is really reliant on combo. Unless you count clan or something. What deck should I play, Armish? Armish, you should play the blonde and bob haircut girl. Blonde and bob haircut girl. I don't know who that is. What deck? Epion or Freedom even? Yeah, blockers. Does LM work in other colors, you think? Yes, League Militaire does work with all of the other colors. You can take it in any way you want because League Militaire is the baseline for all of your stuff, basically. It kind of works by itself. Like, if they printed even more League Militaire cards, you would pretty much just be like League Militaire all over the place. You really don't need other colors. But where Gundam is right now, you obviously want to at least take one card from somewhere else. I'll go with the girl who I I don't know who that is. What version of LM would you take to a tournament? I would just take at the current moment, I would probably take my beatdown aggro version just to be aggressive. But besides that, we're gonna go look at Holly TCG's list, okay? Like everybody, if you guys are asking me for who's like, give me a copy paste list, just take Holly TCG's list. Like, and if you guys want to learn about blue-white control matchups, even go watch Holly TCG's coaching matches or anything like that he does with his friends and his buddies, because he loves playing blue-white blockers. That's his playstyle, is to be like the most, as many blockers, as much control as possible. That's what he like digs. Is it next to the last one in the deck? Is into the next to the last one deck. I'll have to go look at it. Yo, this is nice. The blonde and bob hair girl. Kagali or Faye. Marita. Good take. LM is still cooking. Okay, so I'm gonna go pull up Holly TCG's video. Okay, I'm gonna post it in chat as well for you guys. Again. Okay, so he obviously posted a gameplay matchup, back-to-back aggro matches. You guys can see it here. And then we can also see his actual deck profile here, okay? So I'm going to actually just go to his channel. I'm going to link you guys his channel, so you guys can go like and subscribe to him. Like and subscribe his stuff. It's you always want to be looking at him for any like super control deck, because that's literally what he likes to play, and his buddies as well. And he has some good content, like this one right here, right? So there's an in-depth explanation. This is a 48-minute video of him versing his buddy and talking to the lines and stuff like that. So definitely, like, just go eat up his content. I'm glad that he's back, because as I was saying a bunch ago, you guys see his most recent video, like, obviously was 4 days ago and yesterday. But before that was like 2 or 3 months ago, right? So he basically took a big break during GDO 3, I guess, after his 3 crafting with the O. Okay, so let me post this guy's channel for you, and then we're gonna go look at his deck list here. Okay, so this deck list right here, you guys can see that he is running Core Fighter in this list. Now he's still running the Banshee deck. Okay, he's still running Banshee Norn. He went 5-0 at his new type challenge with it. But the key thing to note here is that he's playing blockers just like Eggman was, and we would be. It's fine if we're playing white. But the other thing to note is that he's playing Core Fighter. Core Fighter is essential to the deck, and you guys can see the number of pilot counts here. Okay, let me make this full screen. Look at the pilot count. Okay, that is a total of 12 pilots. Okay, now is that too bricky? I'm gonna tell you guys that the answer is really no. It's not too bricky, because the difference between 10 pilots, that a lot of you guys consider to be the number of pilots, right? If each of these cards is worth 2%, because it's 50 cards, right? 50, each card is worth 2%. We pretty much go down this route, and it's 20%. You guys are at about 20% of your deck is pilots. Okay, so 20% of your deck are pilots. If we simply add 2 more pilots to the equation, going from 10 pilots to 12 pilots, we're only going plus 4%. Okay, we're going to 24% of the deck is pilots. Now, in coaching, what I teach you guys, for you guys that are my clients, is that what you guys want to do, if you guys are looking at averages, people are like, oh, an average, blah, 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 like stupid averages, okay? Like in school, they teach you mean, median, mode, but nobody ever goes off of mean, median, and mode. They always just go off of the average, which is, I think, what, the mean or whatever. It's like you don't only have to go off of average, which is why they teach you the 3 M's, basically. So over here, we pretty much have 12. Like, if we consider that, okay, so there's, what, 12 pilots, right? 12 pilots, you divide this number equally, whatever, and it's going to be basically, you know, 4, 4, and then we put 4, 4, 4. What does mean is this is the top of our deck. This is the top. This is the middle, mid, and this is the bottom. Okay, this is a very simple way of looking at it. If we do it on average, we're going to have 4 pilots at the top, 4 pilots in the middle, 4 pilots at the bottom of the deck. So realistically, on average, right, you guys, people love averages, we're never going to see these pilots. So our deck only has 8 pilots. And then if you look at the top of your deck, the top 15 cards or whatever, right, half of these pilots, or not half, but at least 1 or 2 of these pilots will probably end up on our shields. And that depends if you mulligan or not. That changes the odds and all that jazz. Especially if you draw opening hand. If we don't see the pilot, that means there's a higher chance the pilots are going to end up in our shield area because we drew 5 non-pilots. But there's still 4 in like 7, 8 cards in the top of our deck that are going to go into our shield area. So all of a sudden, a bunch of these pilots go into our shield area. Let's just say that there's 3 of them that go into our shield area. We're only going to be drawing 1 pilot in the next couple of turns. Even if we get to the mid range of our deck, one of these pilots will come into our hand, and we'll have 2 pilots total, but we're going to get most of our pilots from our shields. And so there's no big deal if you want to run 12 pilots. You can 100% do so, especially when you have pilots like this guy and Amuro. Amuro can go on anybody, and so it's simply a command spell. It's not even a pilot. So let's cancel this out. This doesn't even count as a real pilot because it's just command spell. Siege Deploy, same thing. So we actually are still running 10 pilots in total. But then this guy as well does not even count as a pilot because he can go on anybody you want. And most of the deck for Le Militaire, which makes it so good, is that it simply just links with... actually, he's not even running most of the other cards, but these guys just link with whoever you want. So you can just put this guy as a link, basically as haste. But his ability is what we want. So just pair this guy with anybody you want. Now your ability is online and you're good to go into the aggro matchups, and you can kind of go dig for him that way. So he's not even considered a pilot in the sense that you would consider all these guys pilots, where you kind of really want them to go onto certain units. Especially this guy, like he doesn't work unless he's obviously onto the Delta Plus or onto this unit here. So outside of that, he literally does not work. But he still has the 2 HP against, like, you know, aggro decks. So looking at the deck list overall, you guys can see now he himself is going down the very, very, very blocker route. Because he understands that, okay, we want to play as many blockers as possible. And then we're going to utilize Core Fighter as additional blockers to turn all of our tokens into blockers. And then this is also going to summon us a blocker. And then obviously these cards here are simply there to keep our Victory Gundam and our Unicorn active and alive for longer. And then it's just like extra draw power here to cycle through the deck because he wants to. And then Delta Plus is simply an extra card to link with Rahid. And he's not running Amuro Gundam. He's not running Gundam. Why is he not running Gundam? Because Gundam is an offensive card, right? Like I described earlier, it's an offensive card. His deck is not an offensive deck. He can go offensive because he'll just slam a bunch of buys on the ground, but most of the time he's playing very, very defensive, and then he's trying to get +3, +4 out of this card, right? So he's trying to go super late game, just like the O, and then run your opponent over, and he'll utilize Amuro and V-Dash Gundam over and over and over again. And because of this card's ability, he'll basically use it as a Archangel to attack the shields, reset, pass the turn, attack the shields, reset, pass the turn, and you can't get to him. And if he wants to attack into your opponent's unit, he can do so, and then kind of heal it off the base, which is some like technology he has in his deck. So that's where his deck and my deck differs, where I'm not gonna play blocker slot, but you guys have to understand, Holly TCG loves playing very, very, very defensive decks. So he is going down the very defensive route. If you guys wanted to up his blocker count, you could, but there's no need to when you're actually going to count these as blockers. You're going to count this guy summoning you a blocker, and you're also going to count this guy summoning you a blocker. You actually have +12 blockers in the deck because of the tokens you generate, which is, you don't need like 12 more blockers from just like white cards. Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I think about these decks and what I think about Eggman's design, and why this guy's design makes more sense, why my design also makes sense. Not like I would take it to a tournament, that exact build, but that's a build option you have available to you, just like this one. But if you want to copy a deck list that has already proven itself, play this version of it. If you guys want to improve at blocker slop or blue-white control heavily, go check out his videos. And if you guys want to you know, watch his gameplay, he just uploaded a gameplay into aggro matchup in particular. You guys can see how he plays. I played against Holly on the webcam scene like 3 months ago when he was practicing for his Australian regionals and North American stuff, I believe. So yeah, it was a fun time, and he was still playing blue-white blockers at that point as well. Well, I was running my like wing ramp deck. Okay, back to chat. My phone is dead, by the way, so goodbye to phone. Let's read all of this chat. Holly TCG, yeah. Hallie TCG, whatever. Hallie. Let me read all this chat. I'll go with the grill. Okay. Blonde with haircut. Or Faye. Okay. Hallie. Yeah, Hallie. I seen sudden rise on hyper aggressive decks in my locals. Crazy 1-2 drops. Like it was going out of style. Only saving grace is my blocker and burn decks. Yes. He's also nothing with unforeseen overflowing. Yeah, unforeseen overflowing are also options you can input. Yeah, so he's like running 2 short resolves here. No unforeseens in his deck because obviously he's using unicorn and blockers. But you can include all those extra options. I think pinging the unit and killing it is better than blocking it, and I believe and being alive. That's why on a red bike I play Kshatriya rather than Ailstrike on the Oiki list. Yeah, you can go down that route. Not bothering. Why no NT in this list? What is NT? Newt. Why no NT? What is NT? I also rather run 8 pilots versus 11 because I cannot tell how bad it feels to losing by bricking. Yeah, it could be a meta call, but check out his video. He plays with 12 pilots, which again he's playing 8 pilots and the 4 different command cards over here. Basically, these are just armor's a command and the other guy is an enchantment. 12 pilots is fine. High draw power deck because the real risk is not having enough units. Yeah, exactly. You can just draw so many cards in the deck, it doesn't matter. Also, if Kira wants to kill my Kshatriya by reducing AP, so it dies. You don't need to ping and card draw with NT. Oh, NT Gundam. Okay, I know what you're talking about. NT Gundam. The reason why NT Gundam is not in the list is because it's level 5. Level 5 is a little bit higher on the curve. And you don't always have... without Mikazuki, NT Gundam kind of doesn't exactly do what you want it to do at all times. And he doesn't really have room to put everything into the list. He'd rather run Delta Plus for his ready pilot. Again, the Armor Array is not in the deck to link with anything. It's just there to be a command card. That's why Armor is in the deck. And it can just go on pair with your units and activate. I guess there's no on pair abilities here, but yeah, it's just there for that reason. I believe it also links with Delta Plus. Also, if Kira wants to kill my Kshatriya by reducing AP, so die. Okay, you don't need the ping card. You don't need the ping and card draw with NT. This card has, yeah, it has plenty of draw, exactly. Delta is great here. Yeah, Delta just links with both, I believe. Gundam NT, cool. It's an armor link. Yep, feel you guys. Yeah, okay. So those are all my thoughts. I think running this card is fine. Now, I'm going to say when you watch him play, when you watch a lot stronger blue-white players play, I won't go into it here yet, but if you guys see me play sometimes and bring up the fact of, hey, I don't want to play cards and reveal what I'm playing. I don't want my opponent to understand what I'm on or guess what's in my hand. I want to hide more information, just like it's poker. He will do that actively playing against him, and so he's one of the stronger blue-white players out there, and that's something that you have to build up. It's called, like, I call it the art of doing nothing. You have to utilize the art of doing nothing by bluffing and by not showing your hand, and then it's much more you and your opponent battling each other in the mind than it is just on the table. Which is where you guys can think about card games like Magic the Gathering with Mana Leak, counter spells, and you guys can think about card games like Yu-Gi-Oh, where people think that in Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, you can't read your opponent's hand because, you know, any card could be any card, and they can get more and more cards, one card combos and negates and all this stuff. It's like, that's not exactly how it works. You do need to play into certain lines. You do need to bet and put up equity and go in and kind of like do well or worse. and get a feel. You need to skill check your opponent to be like, hey, does he know to not counter my first card or counter my second card? And so you need to skill gauge your opponent first and then go down the most appropriate route to beat them. Because if your opponent just simply isn't at the same skill as you, in a very competitive game like Riftbound or Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, you can blow them out because you'll understand what route they're going to take at their skill level. Same thing like chess. They just simply won't see all the lines, so you can completely destroy them. But if they do see the lines and they do respect what you're doing and they understand what you're doing, then you have to go down different routes. Okay, that's enough of this. Maybe we'll put League Militaire on stream at some point later, but let's get back to Minerva here. Pretty sure this is why you guys tune in to my channel, is to get these like deeper talks about certain deck lists and how I feel about them, rather than just like just this is the card, guys. I'm gonna read the card to you and tell you what the card does. Okay, time to take a sip. I don't even know how long I was talking for there, like at least 30 minutes. I miss you talking to Ali. Is Ali replying to you on Facebook and your calls? Okay, here we go. I don't want to keep this hand. That's better. Let's put the overflow. Let's obviously discard this guy in the turn. If he's playing a defensive deck, we can overflow and discard this, but yeah, he's playing aggro. Cool. Let's just play a blocker here in the turn. When your war goes for the swing. Passes the turn. Perfectly fine. Do I want to use my EX resource here and be very, very defensive? Let's play Sword Strike and let's we're gonna ignore the Char because it only takes out one shield. I kind of want to play another blocker here because the Sword Strike will kill this, and then the blocker ball can just kind of protect us from everything. But if he swings at us with gun tanks and stuff, we're gonna pop these two back to his hand, and then I'll just replay them. Yeah. Let's play a blocker, take a bunch of hits, and then take out everything he has on the next turn. Potentially. Of course, we have a bunch of cards we can get from our shield area, but there's a Shin. Okay, he just passes, which is great for us. Let's take out his Char here. Maybe put some Palace at the bottom of his deck. What's your approach when it comes to play blocker versus blocker matchup? How do you get the value? It's all about breaking your opponent's battlefield or cracking their the word is leaving my mind right now. I can't think of it, but cracking the field. Breaking your opponent's board, that's what it is. You want to break your opponent's board, and that's what is like mostly important. Let's give this silver bullet. Let's play another. Let's play a Lifrith here. Let's do this. Let's discard another sword. And let's end the turn. So it's all about cracking the board. The why play the sword? Yeah, Sword Strike kills the Char, that's why. The 4-2. Yeah, the board state. So it's all about cracking the board. Can't take battle damage. I can lose the base. Block by enemy level 4 or lower. Can't receive battle damage during this turn. I think I'm okay losing a blocker here rather than losing to my base. Since I don't run a lot of bases in my deck, I want to value the base higher than a random blocker, since I'm going to be generating more value as the game goes on. Okay. This links, right? Yeah, it links. Blocker wall, yep. Yeah, so you want to crack your opponent's board state, basically. That's what the blocker matchup comes down to. If you kind of get your L strikes, control the board, just like GDO1, you can win. If you get Amuro Gundams, like you want to link up the Amuro Gundams to give all your Lifrits +1, +2 AP, so you can pretty much take your opponent out right then and there. Let's just block this, take it out, and then we can kind of bounce everything we want. He's running out of cards already, so he might just concede the game at some point. But we'll see if he does or not. I'm assuming he's gonna Char Link at some point. We don't care about taking 3 damage to the base, so that's fine. He plays the base, who cares? Destiny Gundam will wreck him eventually. So let's take out this guy first of all. Play the Impulse Gundam. We're not gonna play the Shin. I'll end the turn here because if he plays another card or some token stuff, I can bounce like all of his Zeong tokens. I can also bounce this token, or I can also just block it. So yeah, if he just kind of passes, I don't have to like do too much. Gelgoog. Sure. It's swinging for 5. Do I want to give up the base? Yeah, let's give up the base. Can't really get rid of it effectively as a 5/5. We'll see what he does here. Okay, we can obviously take him out with this guy here. Definitely gonna play Overflowing Affection. I don't want to discard my Destiny Gundams at the moment, but this guy could take him out with Impulse. Let's get rid of. I already have so many Lifrits. Let's get rid of the Lifrit, maybe. Yeah, let's just get rid of the Lifrith. Let's put this guy onto this guy. And we're gonna take out his unit here. Take out his Gelgoog. And then we'll take out his shield since he has a link, he has a link. We've got plenty of health. Let me read chat. Army asks, in your Xeon Rush deck, do you play 0 bases with the mindset you will swing and trade units instead to keep control? When I play 0 bases in my deck lists, it's pretty much because if I'm being super aggressive, what's the point of me like trying to keep my shields up, right? And all of these matchups that exist, I pretty much run my opponent over really quickly. So I don't need bases. I don't need bases to get me like a +1 or a draw effect or anything like that. What I really want is to simply there we go. Just attack my opponent and have a good time. I didn't get the blocker, but okay. Yeah, I don't care about that guy either. I'm gonna end the turn. So that's why I play 0 bases in a lot of my decks, is because if I'm playing with the mindset of being very aggressive, I don't need to play a lot of bases. But if I'm running into things like suppression, then a base is very good against that in particular. This guy's down to 0 cards, which is cool. And we'll try to kill him next turn. So that's why I run 0 bases. While in defensive decks, I can run a lot more. My idea of bases is that I think that you know, running 0 bases is completely appropriate. Like, you guys saw the aggro deck running like only 4 pilots. I think you can 100% run like 0 pilots and play a deck. I've played 0 pilots in GDO 1 against people on the webcam servers, and they were freaking out, losing to 0 bases. So yeah, the idea is just running your opponent over. Why play a base that costs like 2 resources or more when I can simply just attack my opponent? But generally I stick to like 2 bases at a bare minimum, until I choose to like not care about it, basically. Yeah, if I need to keep control, I just kind of swing. Like, I have 7-8 HP. In other card games, you don't really have bases, you just have HP. Do you think it's fair to say Silver Bullet is better than Ale when you aren't running Kira? Yeah, 100%. I tell people that you're running Kira Ale, for example. There's the reason why Ale Strike is so good is because, number one, the most important part, it's a blocker. It's a 4/4 blocker, and that's why it's actually good. Okay. The second half of it is that it bounces a card. The bouncing effect doesn't make Ale Strike like super crazy because there's so many other ways you can bounce something like Kusanagi or just a Witch and the Bride. So the bounce effect is not like universally it's universally accepted like from other cards as well. Like, everybody has it. But the blocker being a 4/4 back in the day was made Ale Strike so good. And then obviously being a Kira Link, it now allows you to play. My mic muted, guys? Or is it not muted? Something happened with the mic? I hear you now? Okay, cool. I hear you. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Kira Ale Strike, the blocker is what makes Ale Strike good. If you remove the blocker attacks off of Ale Strike, Kira Ale Strike will not be as powerful as it is. So you definitely want to just be like, okay, well, the blocker portion of Ale Strike is way better than the actual bounce effect of it. And kind of obviously being a link with Kira makes it even better. Because then you get to do the Kira effect, but it's pretty easy to play around Kira Ale Strike by simply not attacking on the Kira Ale Strike turn. Okay, yeah, there's some lag. That's fine. So yeah, and if you're not playing Kira Ale Strike, you can now just play the other blocker, which is Silver Bullet. So Silver Bullet is pretty much simply taking the spot of Ale Strike, and now you don't need to play Kira, because you really were just playing it for the 4/4 blocker, like Perfect Strike and something like that. And you can play other pilots, which you guys saw. You guys saw Pink Jedi guy play in his wing deck. Okay, let me just one copy of Graceful is the win in this matchup at the state. Yeah, usually out of burst, but you usually need 2. I played a lot of the matchups, aggro versus Graceful Demeanor. You really need 2 Graceful Demeanors to actually stop aggro, and generally you need 1 out of burst. You still get run over completely. otherwise. Now bounce it. Striker blocks here. I think it was a misplay for sure. Trade the launcher to clear misplays and bounce the token for free. Trade the launcher to clear misplays and bounce token for free. We could burst into striker here and miss, so that's why I said it. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's because of the Char. I don't want to get high maneuvered and stuff. He cutting in and out for anyone else. Okay, a question. Do you think red white Neo Zeong strong for NTC matchups? I think it's a very strong deck, but if your NTC is full of aggro matchups, you probably don't want to take Neo Zeong. But if you are going to take Neo Zeong, I talked about early in the stream, play Blocker Slop variant of it, which go check out Oiki's video, I guess, or her deck. There was a small lag. Okay, smooth. There it is. Just me, I guess. Have you tried adding Barbados and Mika package? I have done that. That's literally why I made the package video, so you guys can play whatever package you guys want. I ran a purple white with Shin, Kira, and Mika pilots. Okay, I hear you now. Might just be me. There was lag. I have a success with my locals using that deck. Gives you a fighting chance against aggro with the ping. Yeah, it can 100%. Once you get to the late game, Neo Zeong will just crush you. I understand what you mean now about zero bases. Yeah, exactly. Most of the time when you win your games, like, you just kind of win them. You don't really need bases or health. So also the one thing about the bases is if you're running a lot of burst cards, bases will put a burst into your hand, or a base will put a base into your hand, which is not something you want. So limiting yourself on bases is a good thing to do. And again, most of the time when you play a base, it simply gets picked up by one swing. So it's not really representing more than 1 HP, just like a shield is. Did you show this deck list? The one I was playing right now, it's on my Minerva blockers, which is Gundam Destiny deck list, right? This one is called Gundam Destiny because really is just a Destiny carry deck where you're really winning off the back of Destiny Gundam. Just like Freedom blockers, this is Destiny blockers, right? So if you want to change the deck list, you can change it to like Destiny blockers. That's what the deck list would, I guess, would actually be called. Is aggro still favored versus red-white aggro slop? Wondering if is red-white. Wait, what? Is aggro still favored versus red-white aggro slop? You're talking about the GM spam list, like 20 GMs. Both decks are still going to kill each other relatively the same, so it's still 50-50. Pretty much both decks can take it. Wondering is but the 20 GM list is not a better deck overall in the game. Okay, that deck list is not, it's already exists in GDO 1. Everybody's playtested it. The normal blur pull ping and 1-year war decks are stronger overall because they have multiple ways to win, and it's a lot easier to stop 20 GM. But the 20 GM deck can still just run you over very, very quickly, and it's extremely one-dimensional, while the other half of why aggro is so strong is because of the card advantage that it generates with Zeong, Corsica bases, and Trail Resolves, which is what makes aggro so powerful in Gundam, is that we lose games on turn 9, turn 10, turn 15 sometimes because aggro just doesn't run out of cards. Wondering, is red-white can win more than 50%? Yes, red-white can win more than 50%. That MSA stat line that was posted on Eggman's website was just like a stat of everything together. But if you do play blocker slop Neo Zeong, you will have a better time. Also, if you play Neo Zeong into a local area where they don't play as much aggro, you'll have a higher win rate. And if you play better, you'll have a higher win rate as well. My NTC is more blurple. Okay, red-white Neo Zeong won the last NTC. Yeah, it's strong. Thank you, coach, for answering. Yeah, definitely blocker heavy. Yeah. No problem. Ask any card player, any real card playing. It doesn't matter if you win with 0 shields or 6 shields. Winning is winning. Stolen and rephrased from the Fast and Furious. Yes, I got that. Pale. Hi, coach. Nice to see you again. Hey Kazul, how's it going? When do I have to? Is it at 5 or 6? This guy just said on my way now. Okay, guys. So that's gonna be it for me. I have to log out. I have a person coming over to play Warhammer, so I gotta go teach him how to play Warhammer as his first starting game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you guys go test out Blocker Swap and learn a bunch about League Militaire and my insights on that. Again, if you guys want coaching, reach out to me, Coach Wing Zero, on my Discord. You know, I had a few of you guys reach out yesterday, which I'm thankful for. You guys were also very much enjoyed the coaching you guys got yesterday. You guys were like, oh my god, this coaching was completely different than what I expected. And I think it's, you know, I've been coaching for 10 years straight. So 10 years of coaching experience, not just playing Gundam or playing some other card game, but straight up coaching competitive players and looking at games and being on top of the meta in multiple games years in advance. Yes, get coaching, exactly. 100%. 100% get coaching. If you guys are on the fence about it, like, reach out to me, you know, ask questions, whatever, but like, you guys 100% should get coaching, and it will help you. Like, you won't have to go around asking what does somebody think about this deck list overall, for the most part, or how you should adjust your ratios. You will simply just have the answers because you will have learned the formula, right? I'll teach you trigonometry, but in terms of trading card games, I'll teach you how I view things, how I view cards, and a bunch of different skills as well. Like, it's not just about deck building or how you play your deck. It's a bunch of skills you need to unlock, like new abilities, and level yourself up as an individual and get into the same mindset that I have. And then I try to get all my clients to be like, you know, I want them to think the same way I do and why, and then kind of go on their own path. And then if they ever get lost, they can always come back to the fundamentals and my teachings, and always reach out to me as well. And like, my clients text me all the time and ask questions. So I'm very hands-on, just like on the stream and in my comment section. Very hands-on with everything. Fast replies, quick on the trigger, and I play everything. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next time. We'll probably get a bunch of League Militaire stuff. I've got a quite busy weekend over the next 2 days, and then on Monday as well, but I'll definitely be around. All right, see you guys later.